Hi, my name is Douglas Kendyson. I'm the founder and CEO of Selar. Selar is an online store builder for creators to sell any kind of digital product. So typically people sell ebooks, courses, trainings, and really just anything. A lot of my experience has been in the payments industry. I've worked with a lot of payment companies in the last couple of years, and I've also just really loved like e-commerce. So we're excited to be doing this for you guys. Interesting. I would say I've actually always been entrepreneurial. I think my mom is a very entrepreneurial woman. She's done a lot of like businesses, whether it's buying and selling, whether it's supplying, whether it's starting up shops and doing things. But I know, I guess the earliest time I started getting paid for any kind of service was when I was in uni, and people usually paid me to like fix their laptops and install things for them, and that was like my earliest stage. And then after that, I sort of graduated to like software engineering, and people started paying me for making like websites for them. And then eventually Seller came about. And I mean, a lot of startups came before like Seller, but yes. Seller began in 2016. I worked at Paystack at the time. I was one of the very first employees and I used to work with technical support, and then I eventually even moved to like general support. And I think in seeing like a ton of emails that came from customers, I realized that, oh, this is people actually need a means to sell something. So at the time in 2016, Paystack only supported registered businesses with like CAC certificates. And and then I talked to my boss about saying, hey, this is what people are asking for. We typically cannot serve them. My friends and I are really looking to build something small. And so that was how we built the very first version of the MVP. Yeah, that is Seller. Um, I think one of the biggest challenges we faced was trust. So this is a small team of like five friends. We wanted to just build something fun that we thought people were gonna love. And if you're building a product, so it's an e-commerce product, and it's sort of almost a financial product because people sell their products on it, people pay them online on it, and they receive payouts. And it's sort of hard for people to like trust you with their money in this case. If they don't know you, they've never heard of you. So for the very first couple of years, I think one of the things we struggled with was just getting people to trust that we could do this. I mean, there was also, I mean, looking back now, I see that there was a very big struggle with like marketing and reaching more people. Um, and we sort of still just navigated all of that with one-on-one outreach, because at the end of the day, you reach out to people that you believe are a great fit for your product. You pitch to them. If they like it, they come on board. And even the concept of digital products wasn't something that was very prevalent in like 2016. So it wasn't something that a lot of people knew or understood from the fly. It's even now that more people in Nigeria and just across Africa sort of they understand, they're down for it. So yeah, that was a big one. I mean, I think one of the things that I would count as our vision and mission right now, and this is what we share with every employee, is that like Salah is very synonymous with digital products in all of Africa. We really want people, when they think of like digital products or monetizing their knowledge in any format, whether it's like an event, whether it's like a book, whether it's like a course, we want them to think Seller. And I mean, we are really making a good dent in this right now. A lot of people use our product to sell all their digital products. However, we think there's just more that we can achieve with this, and we really are excited to see how much more we can push. When it comes to iterating products, and I think I kind of learned this working at different like startups over the last couple of years. I think there's a very fine line with sort of having a vision for the product and sort of creating features that you believe your customers are going to love. And then the other side of the coin is sort of listening to your customers, and I guess maybe they tell you what they want and then building that. And I think the best way to balance this is more conversations with customers to sort of understand what they're trying to achieve. It's not just even what they're doing, but what they're trying, like what they really want to achieve behind everything. And that sort of really colors the experience for you and helps you also think futuristically. I think that's something that I know has helped. I know it's very cliche for people to say talk to your customers. So it's very cliche for people to say talk to your customers, but I mean it is right. There's a reason why everybody says that, because at the end of the day, that sort of gives you, if you talk to a lot of customers and you listen to them carefully, you really have a sense of what it is they need and also what it is they want, and sort of you can differentiate the wheat from the chaff. I think one a good book that I remember a lot of people talking about, and I was like, oh, why are you guys just talking about this book? It doesn't seem that, like, it's just something like the thing that, one of those books that people say and they don't, and it's never that good. But when I read it, it's called The Mom Test. I can't remember the author's name, and it's like a book that tells you how to talk to customers. And it was one of those books that when I read, it made sense why everybody loved it. I was like, oh, I see now. Really just gives you good actionable tips on how to talk to customers and get actual feedback of what they want. Um, Success is weird because I think sometimes some things can feel like success at the time, and then like looking back, you realize that yeah, that's probably not even a good idea, good for us in any way. I mean, one of the things that happened in 2018, or I think that was 2017, I reached out to the Mount Zion Films team, and I wanted to like put their whole collection up online for sale, for like for sale. So we started with like putting, people could download them and pay 150 for it. And then eventually we made a whole streaming site for them, still built on Seller. And literally our product is built like as a SaaS product. So like like everybody's using the same software. But like for them, we built a whole different thing. Like I built a whole thing. And I don't think we made that much money from them. I mean, there were sales, there was traffic, they did make money. We gave them a different fee because I mean, of course, and I just don't think we made them that much money. Um, and the product shut down after like their streaming whole thing shut down after like, because at some point we couldn't manage building that. It was a whole thing, and I think we shut down after like 2 years. And I remember like 1 year into it, 1 year into it, thinking, we're not even making that much money from this. But I mean, but it did feel like success at the time because like it was great because like we used them for like clout in that, oh, they use us, you should definitely use us, and it was useful for us. That was a very big milestone that, I mean, I guess I'm happy it happened because eventually we built like a streaming sort of option on our product, and a lot of the work I did then sort of is what was used for this whole streaming entity. So not bad. So yeah, I guess that was a big milestone. And then in 20, I think also 2018, maybe late 2018, Tole Elumelu Foundation gave us a grant of 5K, and that was also really great. That was really great. Um, yes, I think so. I mean, maybe yes or no, because interestingly, one of the our big focus today at Seller is like digital products, and there's a reason why it's digital and not physical. I really, really wanted to work with physical product sellers, but they are a very hard market to reach, and I just did not want to. And I'm working actively to reach them. They are fighting me, like not fighting me, but like they are fighting back. I think one of the big things is just people love the comfort of bank transfer. People love the comfort of like conversation when they are um, trying to place an order, which is nice and I guess never really goes away. I think a very big reason why a lot of people love to have conversation before purchase when it comes to physical products in Africa is like, or at least in Nigeria, is an issue of trust. People go on Amazon and they buy off because they know that they're definitely getting it. But a lot of they just don't know what they're getting. They need to be 100% sure, and it's mostly businesses that that you know what you're getting, that you eventually can, the e-commerce becomes that smooth experience. Does that make sense? Like today, I buy food from, there's an app on the island, it's called Food Court, and I can order food from them and forget that I placed the order, and I know that it's going to come in like 30 minutes. And I was also just talking to my friend about like the comparison of that and Jumia Foods and every other person that was sort of in the market before them. And the biggest complaint from other people was, oh, they're not going to deliver my food on time. I have to wait so long. And Jumia Food has sort of really improved. So that's really great. But I think once people hopefully have a good handle on service delivery, I think that could make e-commerce more successful. And there are a lot of things that play into service delivery. So it's a package deal. So I have three things. I have three things. I think good people, good connections, and good product. And so when it comes to good people, I talked to some friends that run startups and they're complaining about how they want to sort of move from a remote culture to physical culture because like people are just not doing the work and it's like very stressful and all of that. And it's like, and I empathize with them. And but it's also something that I guess I'm not very familiar with. Actually, I am familiar with it, but at least at this point, I'm not very familiar with because Selar's been remote all my life. Like all 16 of us on the team work remotely, and I guess for all the different people, I don't have to worry about like what they're doing because they just bring it, they put in their best and they do their work, and that's really the importance of good people because it's not being able, not having to worry about like people doing their jobs or doing the different things that they're meant to do. And good people also just means so much because it means that other people in the company are really working to make things work for the company. So good people, very important. Good connections. Um, I mean, I feel like with any kind of business you do, there's yes, it's important to have a good product, but it's really just a function of who you know, or the kind of access that you have. And sometimes that's very downplayed, but the people with the best opportunities and doing the best things and having the right opportunities to do things, even just the idea of having a good opportunity to do something is a function of who you know and about the access you have. So while it's not a big prerequisite, it will just definitely help you. And this is not even something that is very specific to Nigeria. Look at, I mean, even the story of Bill Gates and his mother being on like the IBM board, and then that's how he sort of got started. And it's like he could have had a really great idea, but if he didn't have the access, that's just going to work. And that's the role that connection plays in things, and just hopefully building out your connection, not in a way that is like, oh, I want this person to help me, but I mean, just meaningful connections at the end of the day could go a long way. Uh, And the last thing, and the last thing is good product. I think of everything, having a product that works will take you farther than anything else. Will take you farther than good marketing because people using your product and achieving what they want to achieve is the best way for them to market it for you to their friends. And you could spend a lot of money in marketing, but if people keep coming in and keep going out, like all of that just goes down the drain. So yeah, that's it for me. I think good people, good product, and good connect. Yes, we do. So we're live in about in 13 African countries today. We're really hoping to try out more African countries. With our expansion so far, it's mostly been people driven in the sense that people in these countries reach out to us and tell us, oh, they're really trying to use our product and they're not there. And then yes, I think the last expansion we did to six francophone countries was a function of just a lot of people asking us. And so I think as we just have more demand across board, we definitely will be doing more. Um, I think it's very useful. I think one of the reasons why we haven't done an official buy now pay later integration is because when the process of requesting a loan and checking out is maybe too tedious, it sort of ruins the conversion flow. So that's one of the reasons why it's not there yet. But it's something that we think about a lot and we actually already support. So I think I don't know if you know the typical story of people saying like when customers turn something into a feature, turn a feature and turn like something into a feature. And I think an example of that is we have a subscription product. So the subscription product sort of allows you to charge customers on like a recurring basis. and there's an option for you to stop that subscription at a certain point of time. So what it means is you can set a subscription for 10,000 naira and stop it after 3 months. So the customer gets to pay four times, one, two, three, four, whatever the case is. And we've sort of seen a lot of customers use that as a means to like collect buy now, pay later payments, where it's like they collect the first installment, then they charge subsequently for the rest couple of months. So it's something that we've seen as that's very important and very useful. And even when you get to like the problem of like inflation and every other thing, like so many good use cases here and there. And we have it today, we see it work, and I think hopefully it's something that as more buy now pay later companies invest in their infrastructure and experience, more people can be able to access. Um, I'm an introvert, so this advice is like something I think is very counterintuitive. But I think I'll pick up the three things I mentioned earlier. I would say good people, good connections, and good product. So good people in the sense that if I mean you might be starting out solo and that's great. And if you're not starting out solo and you have people you're working with, hopefully find the right people. Find the people that are most excited about the thing you are, find the people that are ready to commit as much time as you are. Those things make it better because you don't want to be like slaving to make stuff work at 2 a.m. And then, I mean, even if it's not 2 a.m., you don't want to be slaving to make stuff work out with so many hours, and then the rest of your team is just going with the flow. That has a way of killing excitement. When it comes to connections, like I said, I'm someone that just I love to stay at home. I love to not speak to that many people, and but it's very but I mean if I trace back my career and trace back to all the ways in which my career has sort of like progressed, I can trace it to like some people giving me like a helping hand, whether it's like Shola from Paystack, GB, Ezra from Paystack, GB from Flutterwave, and different people that have sort of really helped me. And that's where connections come in place. That's where knowing people come in place. And I mean, there's this obnoxious way it's done today on Twitter and social media. I don't know if I support that because most of those connections are never real and deep. They're just very shallow and noisy. But I think meaningful relationships with people where you are mutually giving value would really go a long way. And I guess good product. I mean, if you're building something, please let it be good. Let it be good. I think a good product will save you so much time and like it will save you so much. Like you would. I mean, you have more return on investment for your marketing dollars. I'm not gonna say that you are not gonna market at all, but like at least when you market, you have people that stick, and I think that's very important. Thanks for having me. I really loved sharing some of those tips. I hope it's very useful to somebody out there. And I mean, startup in Lagos is hard. Startup in Lagos, Nigeria is hard. Hopefully, you find good people that sort of keep you excited, and hopefully, you will not let things choke you. Yeah.